This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
We've decoded the intel from the listener, Taylor, and it confirms the worst. Somehow, the indefensive format has returned.
Wait, do we believe this?
It cannot be. That format is dead.
This format has been planning its revenge. Our listener has been asking for something for years. One of the biggest franchise failures the galaxy has ever known. It is called the sequel trilogy. For the next 90 minutes or so, attacks on this trilogy must cease, and we must defend the Star Wars franchise killers with positivity. We have to pull from the unknown regions of our mind on a podcast called Baconsale.
Did you know they have a new sound for the lightsabers in this movie?
Go on.
Yeah, I think you turn them on and they go, man.
Hey.
Welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Zack.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our last episode. Where'd my voice go right then?
I don't know, it just disappeared.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our last episode, our summer movie preview episode.
Yay! Okay,
Happier
first
times.
of all, we got a shout out from Becca Valletta on Twitter saying, this part of the week's Baconsale episode podcast shouldn't have made me laugh as hard as I did. And it's when I was talking about the fedora guy.
Oh, it's Praise of Zach. That's the comment you chose.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Hey, there's one for you too. Calm down.
Go on.
Max Dimmick said this episode artwork makes me very happy.
You're welcome, Max.
They were all toys.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what's so good. And then Sam Ma, speaking my language, says, I see your practical magic and raise you the devil wears Prados.
Bad.
Good job, Sam.
Funny
That's
stuff.
great. Also, thank you to everybody who played along, participated, and told us what movies you were looking forward to. I think that there are, I say there is, some excitement this year.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully.
There is, yes. But that's not what we're talking about today. What are we talking about today, Zach?
We're talking about Star Wars, something that I think that we've dang near sworn off on.
No, we
show.
retired the jersey.
We did.
It's over there. It's actually Padme's outfit from Attack of the Clones.
It's really weird. You look up there.
Gets smaller and smaller with every day.
And it's the clothes of a man who lives in the sand, but then somehow became an attire of an entire group of people in a religion. It's fine.
Anyway, why are we talking about it, though, Zach, if none of us are as enthusiastic as we once were?
Well, see, for those of you listening years after the fact, and the show is now dead, this episode is releasing on Star Wars Day, don't you know?
May the 4th be with you.
So evergreen.
One of my least favorite internet memes.
I love it, though. Every year we celebrate May the 4th by eating 7 Leia dip. That's our dinner.
Oh.
Yeah.
The reason I hate that day is because people celebrate it for the next 2 days.
With Revenge of the 5th and
the 6th. They do the same thing for the 5th and the 6th.
Yeah, see, I just shift over to Arrested Development and do Cinco de Cuatro.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we decided, as we were talking about we were looking at our calendar, planning it well ahead in advance, and we said, hey, May the 4th, that's going to land on a Baconsale launch day. We should do a Star Wars episode.
You said that? And we said, what could we even talk about in regards to Star Wars? Because it's been about 7 years that we've talked about any Star Wars on the show. And we thought, here's what we can talk about. The negative aspects.
Not to mention, once upon a time, Star Wars almost ended Baconsale.
Joel, I'm sorry.
We'll get to it. But yes,
it was obvious.
After some discussion, we decided we were going to do our beloved in defense of episode. It's our format where we take something that is generally disliked and attempt our best to promote it or defend it.
Typically, we do this show about every other year, and typically what we do is we say, hey, listener, tell us what we should defend this year. This comes up every time.
So we kind of noted that as like, hey, they keep asking for it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So yes,
don't say it that way, because I think there's going to be some positivity at the end of this episode.
We've previously done Michael Bay on episode 155.
Kaboom!
Twilight on episode 259. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull on episode 363. And then Last Airbender on episode 468.
Yep.
So we do these about every 2 years.
And I feel like...
Was that the last one we did?
Yeah.
I tried to block it out.
Now, listen, even though we're all in the same legal team, it's maybe the origin of the temps, let's be honest.
You know?
But with this, the temps arise? The temps awaken? No, we don't wake up on time.
The rise of the temps?
Yes. But when we do this, even though we're all on the same side... Joel has a real hard time playing ball.
He does.
Joel has this thing called integrity. It drives me crazy. And so it's hard for him to lie. I'll say lie, but also find the positive where there's only ironic good.
I try to find the positive.
No, you don't.
I do, but the problem is,
Joel, because of you, because of you, we always have like an alarm. We always have this like a buzzer that we have to call ourselves out when we are trying to defend these movies and anything we've done in the past. And there's always this alarm. And because we're on the Star Wars sequels, what will that be?
So there's a couple.
So for example, let's say you're defending The Force Awakens and I'm like, the opening crawl. I'm like, I love the opening crawl. And you're like, until it says this.
A 7-year-old would like that opening crawl.
There we go. And then Zach would say something.
I would say, I don't know.
What? There's obviously Finn's famous line. I think he has 2 lines in the series.
Ray.
Yeah.
Ray.
But there's also...
I'm worried about yelling into the
There's also
headphones.
They fly
Finn's and Poe's line.
They fly now?
Fly now?
They fly now.
They
fly now.
Don't you forget. It starts with C-3PO.
C-3PO.
They fly now.
They fly now?
They fly now.
There's also somehow Palpatine returned. There's so many things we could do to call ourselves out.
Well, don't forget the famous Maz Kanata one as well.
Oh.
When they're gonna find out what the lightsaber is.
How did it get there?
How did you get this? How did you get Luke's lightsaber? They dropped in Cloud City.
A story for another time.
And he says a story for another time. So I think a couple options there we could talk about. So which one do you guys think would be the most best?
It's gonna have to be between Rey or They Fly Now. I think it's just too easy to say and yell at each other.
I think that Rey might be a little too sharp. So I'm voting for They Fly Now.
So They Fly Now. Can you give me context? Remind me what is flying?
Oh, the stormtroopers.
The stormtroopers that
in
are on
the
the
desert
back,
chase in Rise of Skywalker.
They're on the back of snowmobiles.
Oh, that's right.
On the sand.
Sandmobiles, yes.
Yeah.
But they look like snowmobiles that go boop, and kick up the back.
Yeah,
and so in that pursuit, they're like, they fly now.
They fly now.
I think They Fly Now. Let's go with it then.
Fly now.
All right.
That's our trigger
Listen,
word.
if a Rey slips out,
that's perfectly acceptable.
we're not going to be saying that because we're going to be positive, right, guys?
Oh, yeah, of course. We're not going to need this.
listen, Joel, I'm going to be positive.
Well, how about we talk about...
But not the whole time.
Do you have an opening statement or you just want to jump into the backstory?
I actually would love to talk about the backstory because, as we know, and Joel, I'm sure you have quite a bit here.
Yes.
Star Wars, created by George Lucas, was something that was owned by, him, but Fox.
In Lucasfilm.
Yeah, and Lucasfilm. So Fox would release
was
this.
Was it owned by Fox or was it just distributed?
Distributed by them, but it was all part of the branding, right?
Sure.
We all remember the 20th Century Fox logo. Yeah. And it was part of the experience then as a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Right? Just these nostalgic feelings. And then in 2005, the series, quote unquote, ended, at least for a time.
Well, I want to bring it a little farther back than that.
To the OT?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So just for those who don't know, there's the original trilogy.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. There's the prequels, 1, 2, 3. And then there's the sequels, which is 7, 8, 9.
They're worse at counting than the Xbox people.
Truth.
But then the fun fact here is that George Lucas, has actually planned a sequel. He planned a sequel trilogy as early as 1976, but canceled it by 1981. He produced his first 6 episodes and described these for a time as the complete story. He had the idea early, but then he gave up on it. But then in 1992, he started talking about the prequels, where he started wanting to do those. And then 1997, he said, the whole story, this is George Lucas again, the whole story has 6 episodes. If I ever went beyond that, it would be something that was made up. I'm just reading facts here.
It's all made up, George.
He further stated, when you see it in 6 parts, you'll understand it really ends at part 6. And then in 2008, after all 6 films had been released, he said, George Lucas said, the movies were the story of Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker. And when Luke saves the galaxy and redeems his father, that's where the story ends. And then if they asked if he wanted to make if they should make any Star Wars films after his death, George Lucas said, I've left pretty explicit instructions for there not to be any more features. There will definitely be no episodes 7 through 9. That's because there isn't any story. The Star Wars story is really the tragedy of Darth Vader. That's the story.
He did create a story about wills and midichlorians, like in his head. It was headcanon for him.
But he said kind of that's
and it was very bizarre. So obviously it never really saw the light of day. So remember in the days when the movie came out, and if a sequel didn't come out for 3 or 4 years, you're almost like, is it a dead franchise? Mm-hmm. Star Wars in 2005, which is when Revenge of the Sith came out, felt done, right? Because we saw 1 through 6 at that point.
Yes.
And we were like,
the story was done.
Oh, the prequel was okay, great. And so no one really talked about it for years and years and years. And then on October 30th of 2012, George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah, he went to Walt Disney World in Florida to celebrate the opening of Star Tours: The Adventure Continues, and he had he had breakfast with the CEO, Disney CEO Bob Iger, who said, "Hey, would you be willing to sell your company to Disney?"
Why did he turn into Kermit the Frog?
That's who Bob Iger is. If you rearrange the letters of Bob Iger, it spells Kermit the Frog.
Oh,
Makes sense.
Obvious. Yeah.
So then they decided, you know what? Well, first George Lucas said, "No, I'm not interested in selling." But shortly thereafter, he went, "You know what? I could make a lot of money doing that."
How much money did he make, Joel?
You tell me.
$4.05 billion.
You say billion or million?
Billion.
$4 billion.
Now, keep in mind, like Disney was at the point where they were making Marvel movies. They were starting to make big money. They had the money to spend, and they said, "Why not? We make tentpole movies like in every way now, whether it's cartoons or Pixar or whatever."
Yeah. So George Lucas was like, "All right, cool. You guys can make this. Here's my outlines. Here's my story treatments for what I think you should do in these next 3 movies." And that was actually one of the stipulations when he sold Lucasfilm, was kind of like, well, if you do that, you're going to have to use my ideas. But apparently there was some sort of loophole in the contract, because in 2015, Lucas revealed to his disappointment that his outlines had been discarded in order to make, quote, something for the fans. And Episode 7 writer and director J.J. Abrams later revealed that same year that Disney had given him a mandate to discard Lucas's story and, quote, start from scratch.
Yes.
Power move?
Could be.
Or reception to the prequel trilogy, which, by the way, at the time was much maligned.
It was. I think he was willing to walk away so that the blame could go somewhere else. So he could say, hey, like, if they do a good job, I sold it and they're making the money and I made mine. But if it's bad, maybe it'll reflect kinder on my work. He actually said soon after the sale, and he said this.
This is George Lucas?
Charlie Rose?
On Charlie Rose.
Yep.
These are my kids. He's actually Kermit the Frog, by the way. George Lucas actually kind of sounds like Kermit.
These are my kids.
All the Star Wars films, I love them. I created them. I'm very intimately involved with them. I sold them to the white slavers.
Yeah, he literally said that.
And he had to backtrack, obviously, because it's not kind.
No, that was not a good way to put that.
Yeah. So, but
he felt betrayed. He felt betrayed by Bob Iger and J.J. Abrams because they discarded his children, essentially. He's like, here's what I want you to do with them. And they were like, nah, never mind.
But because of that sell, over the last 12 years, Disney has produced 5 feature films and 13 television shows, more than doubling the amount of canon Star Wars content available for fans.
And that was one thing that really ticked people off, is there came a point when they say, Kay, this is no longer canon. All these books that you've been reading for all these years.
With legacy.
All that is legacy now. It's not canon. The movies are canon. The movies are what really happened.
I submit that legacy was not all great.
No, I'm not saying
of
it
course
is.
Not.
But I'm saying it ticked a lot of people off because they had invested in characters like Mara Jade and the twins. And then they're like, nope, none of that.
And Grandma Tarkin.
Grandma Tarkin.
Grandma Tarkin. Who eventually showed.
But did the $4 billion investment pay off for Disney?
Yes.
Because the trilogy, the Star Wars, just the sequel series trilogy, has grossed over $4.4 billion at the box office worldwide, with each film surpassing $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, and there were estimates as of early 2024 that Star Wars for Disney has brought in an estimated $12 billion.
Yep.
I believe it.
And the first 2 films in the sequel trilogy, being The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, received positive reviews from the critics, while the third received mixed reviews. But each of the sequel trilogy, they experienced diminishing returns with each new installment. The first one made 2, the second only made $1 billion. Only made $1 billion each.
Only $1 billion.
Blah. And then one final quote I would like to bring up here is from George Lucas's ex-wife, Marsha Lucas, who is an editor of all 3 of the original films and actually won an Oscar for her work on the first one, says Kennedy and Abrams, quote, don't get the franchise. And she criticized the deaths of Han and Luke, as well as the lack of explanation for Rey's powers.
By the way, there will be spoilers.
We should just say that. Yeah.
We're not even going to dance around it.
No.
Now, could I get you guys' takes on when it was announced? Like, what was your hype about?
Yeah, let's get to some personal experience.
Or like either or when the sale was announced, or when you were about to see movie 7.
I remember where I was when I found out the news. I was at work.
Which work, Zack?
Go on.
A job.
Sizzler?
No, it was. I had moved on from Sizzler at this point. I believe it was 2012, right?
Yes.
So I was at work and I heard the news and I sat down at my desk and I held my head in my hands and went, "This is going to be terrible.
Oh, what?
I was bothered. I said, no, you are going to ruin it. You're going to, first of all, we're going to have all this conversation about Leia being a Disney princess and all this stuff. And guess what? All of that happened.
Yeah.
And I was really against it. I was upset. And then there's been an awakening. That first teaser trailer dropped, and I changed my tune almost immediately.
Well, the John Williams score and everything in the background, the cool
first
visuals.
teaser trailer, watch it now. It rips, dude.
Yeah.
It's really, really
It
good.
is. Yeah.
Might be better than the movie.
And then the first full trailer.
What?
They fly now. Then,
With a question.
Then the first trailer came out, and I was like, "Yep, this looks so fun." And there's a couple of shots in there, specifically on Jakku, the Millennium Falcon, the one where it's going into the exhaust port of the crash Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
The camera zooms in on it. I'm like, "Oh, this movie has sauce.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome."
Kent, your feeling?
Yeah, for me, I was at a movie screening. This is October 2012. I was at a movie screening and everyone's like, "Did you hear Disney just bought Star Wars?" I'm like, people are going to care about Star Wars again? That's crazy. No one cares about this anymore. Because Star Wars, even though it always made money, even though it's been a cultural zeitgeist thing, made $1 billion one time, right? With Phantom Menace. And granted, you could say the original Star Wars has made $3.9 billion after adjusted for inflation.
Right.
So but it was never like for everyone. But I'm like, I think Disney's really going to make this a thing. I won't like it, but I think it's going to be a big deal.
Where were you at critically at this time?
Critically,
You were a film critic.
Yeah, I was a film critic.
On the radio.
Yeah. So, yeah, when it was sold, I was on the radio at that time. And so I was still very much into the Kenny D character.
Yeah.
Of like, well, if it's popular, I'm not going to like it. Mm-hmm. That was my attitude. Was I excited? Yeah, because it was hard not to be excited for the hype that was created for that first movie. When they showed, I don't know if you guys remember the black and white picture of the cast. I was like, I love Domhnall Gleeson. I love John Boyega. I don't know who Daisy Ridley is, but that's okay. And everyone else. She's pretty. And Oscar Isaac, I'm like, these are good actors.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked for this. They're investing in this movie. So I was excited for maybe what could maybe change my mind about a tentpole movie like this. Mm-hmm. What about you, Joel?
So for me, this is before, how can I say this without getting they flied nowed? I used to be a lot more excited for sequels previous to this sequel series. Meaning like when they'd be like, hey, we're doing this sequel of a show that hadn't been around for a while. I was like, oh, cool. This will be fun to see the characters again.
Yeah.
That's my feeling, was that I was excited for it because I hadn't been jaded yet.
Are you trying to say that this franchise put the negative spin on the Legacy sequel?
That would be an accurate representation.
We're being factual.
But yes. But keep in mind, I didn't dislike The Force Awakens as much as some other people here in this room. So if I
wasn't born yet.
If I may, I would like to read, because you can hear our original, Kent and I's original thoughts.
It's a season finale of season 1.
Yes, Baconsale episode 38, Does the Force Awaken? And my original review that I wrote down back then after watching The Force Awakens says, Star Wars The Force Awakens is easily the fourth best movie of the franchise. It fits in just below the original series, but it is definitely better than any of the prequels. The acting is well done, unlike the prequels, and it offers a good mix of practical effects and CGI. The film isn't without its faults, but it continues the story in a compelling way that feels like a natural continuation of the saga. I would happily watch this movie again, and I would gladly add it to my movie collection. 3.5 stars. I think I actually put that as 4 stars original.
All right.
But I think it got bumped down since then. Mm-hmm. So I was very positive about The Force Awakens.
Yes, you were.
And then The Last Jedi came. And if we can just jump kind of a little bit to that now.
Okay. I'll say I saw The Force Awakens.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I saw it again. I saw it twice in the theater on purpose. I paid money both times.
You did?
I didn't have a movie critic friend at the time. Oh, I wasn't
sorry.
Born. I wasn't born yet.
It does make a difference when you have a movie critic.
No, I did read his blog 2 years earlier where he dissuaded me from ever getting into radio and crushed my dreams. But
I blame Kenny D.
I saw the movie twice in theater. I bought it on Blu-ray right when it came out and watched it again. I had seen this movie multiple times and I had a good time. I did sort of glaze over when Rathtars happened, whatever.
Right.
But that was like really the only part of the movie where I was like, I don't really care for this.
Yeah.
But I had a really good time. And so I went into The Last Jedi stoked. How did you feel, Joel?
Well, I had hope. I had hoped that there was going to be something great to happen because I was like, you know what?
The Empire.
It's The Force Awakens happened, and it was like, yeah, people kept saying this is, and we'll get into the individual movies more about it later, but just initial reactions. I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. It's going to be pretty cool. And then I watched The Last Jedi, and I hated it.
Want to know what I said? Rian Johnson's directing it. This movie's going to be awesome. This movie will turn it around. This guy is a mini Christopher Nolan. That's crazy.
Because he had done Looper
Yeah.
and
Brick.
Brick. That's right.
Both good.
Both
movies.
good.
Yeah.
My original review for Star Wars The Last Jedi, once again, just reading facts.
Facts.
I didn't like Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I'm sorry. It seems that the filmmakers were so focused on the cool visuals and clever sounding lines that everything else suffered. There are plot holes that don't make sense, dramatic scenes that are undercut up by out-of-place humor, and inconsistent characters. After the prequels, I feel like The Force Awakens was a step in the right direction, but this movie is a big stumble backwards. 2 stars. And that, to me, once again, just speaking factually, was Last Jedi was what broke the Star Wars franchise fandom.
What did you think about Joss Whedon's Star Wars?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was awful. Absolutely hated it. It was terrible. Wait, but is that Rise of Skywalker? Because I feel like it could be.
No, I think that the way that Last Jedi was, like, the way the dialogue was written really felt like Joss Whedon to me.
Yeah.
I don't, people love that.
goofy kind of jokey humor that didn't quite fit.
The opening scene where he's, Hux is being overly dramatic Nazi, and
You're getting into it.
he's waiting
You're getting
on
into it. They
hold?
fly now. I mean, I have to cut
he's
this off.
waiting on hold.
Yeah, I have to cut this off.
I do want to point out that we did a full...
That's a story for another time.
But the funny thing about it is, I wanted to point this out. We did a full episode for The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
We did a bacon bit for The Last Jedi review. You want to know what we did for Rise of Skywalker?
Nothing.
We did a bacon bit where we combined it with our review for Cats. It's Bacon Bit, The Rise of Skywalker, and Cats review.
And guess what? The Cats experience was better.
Well, it was I don't know if it was the movie was better, but the experience was better.
More interesting.
Yeah. And once again, just one more time, my original review for this one. I hope The Rise of Skywalker would fix the mess that was The Last Jedi, but it seems episode 8 was too big of a disaster to clean up. The movie frantically jumps from scene to scene, striving to put right what once went wrong, without any real stakes or suspense. Everything feels flat and emotionless. It also tries to tie up all the loose ends. Left in the sequel trilogy becomes tangled in its own web. This was a step back in the right direction for Star Wars, but sadly, it's too little and too late.
Yeah.
2.5 stars. And what were your guys' feelings on The Rise of Skywalker? Once again, speaking factually.
Limped to the ending that I think it wanted to get to, but didn't have the time to tell the story.
I saw it one time. So I said I saw Force Awakens a couple times, bought it. I saw Last Jedi once in the theater, and then I watched it, after it came out on digital. And I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. Because I was kind of a Last Jedi defender.
Were you?
For a while. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Mostly,
I still know some of those.
Mostly in a way of being contrarian.
Yeah.
But at the time I was like, what are you talking about? And then I watched it again and went, oh no. I actually remember, I may have been born by that point, and I was friends with Kent. And I remember texting him going, I'm watching this again.
Kent befriends babies a lot.
Actually, maybe this isn't as good as I thought. Anyway, so then I saw Rise of Skywalker with negative expectations.
Right.
And turned off my brain. And I walked out of it going, I was entertained.
And you saw it one time.
I saw it one time, and I've kind of vowed to never watch it again.
Did you watch it in prep for this episode?
Then I got on.
We all did.
Then I got on a dang podcast.
Because we all watched
did.
it. Kent, what about you, Rise of Skywalker?
Oh,
Personal experience.
I mean, I don't even remember because I was so apathetic towards Star Wars at this point.
You're more excited for Cats?
Yeah. I just remember trying to find a seat next to Tony Toscano. He wouldn't give me a seat next to him. But I remember
that big of it.
You came to both, and we were like, well, Star Wars is going to be pretty solid, and Cats is going to be that bad. And they were equal experiences to me.
We debated on which one was worse.
Yeah. But so
weird.
glad we had that double feature.
Yeah.
Order in the court.
Oh, Kent has prepared an opening statement.
Or someone's at the door. I don't know which one.
My esteemed colleagues.
Oh, no. Are we going to do the music thing again?
And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen of the listener, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars prequel series ended and gave more context to the beloved original trilogy. While the results may have been mixed, yet left on a high note. In the years since, Hollywood has relied on familiar IP for guaranteed big box office numbers. Enter Disney, who is on a roll having recently purchased Pixar and Marvel. Who better than the theme park partner to put money towards an audience that couldn't wait to revisit our precious Skywalker saga? With this change of hands, fans could expect to see a true focus on the return to their childhoods.
Okay, you can't just outright lie on this episode, Ken.
Opening statement, sir. Sir, we're on the same side. They fly now. With a high-profile production team, along with J.J. Abrams, who brought Star Trek back to the cinematic mainstream, the hype was real. Star Wars had once again become water cooler conversation. It's time to stop looking for the weakness in this Death Star, for it continues the themes and epic story of good versus evil. You should not have a bad feeling about this case because, somehow, the defense attorneys have returned. Joel, do you have an opening statement?
I'd like to be recused from this case and plead the fifth.
They fly now.
Walk away.
They fly now.
That was so just. Oh, you're basically Saul Goodman right now.
Thank you.
Because that was
good at his job.
No, because that was showtime. I didn't believe anything you just said.
We'll leave that to the jury.
I'm just saying.
They fly now.
Gentlemen, I was stating about Kent. It had nothing to do with the sequel series.
Gentlemen, let's start with the one that we already kind of talked about, but the reintroduction of Star Wars to the masses. In fact, maybe bigger masses than had ever seen a Star Wars movie before. Mm-hmm. And that is The Force Awakens.
The first installment, Force Awakens, was released on December 18th, 2015, after a 30-year hiatus between the original and sequel trilogies. It was directed by J.J. Abrams, who co-wrote the screenplay with Lawrence Kasdan and Michael Arndt. You may recognize Lawrence Kasdan's name, by the way, from
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, everyone loves to say that. But didn't he also write Return of the Jedi as well?
Yeah.
I feel like he was also involved with that one. But people yada yada over that because it isn't the one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But good job.
So yes, George Lucas was going to be the creative consultant for this movie, but he ended up having no involvement. A representative for George Lucas said, quote, ideally he would love to not see any footage until he walks into the theater next December.
And at the time, look at it through that lens at the time, I think that most people would be okay with that.
Yes.
Because the reason that the prequel trilogy is sitting where it is right now is because people have soured on the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But at the time, I think that the general consensus was George Lucas isn't good at making movies. He doesn't need to be involved.
Yes.
Although
there was a documentary
he's a good story
called The People versus George Lucas. South Park would make fun of George Lucas.
Yes.
This was...
We have even said, and I don't know if I'm going to... I might get alarmed for this, but we have even said, no, I won't. I think I will, that George Lucas, while a great story creator, was not a good screenwriter and not a great director.
He only directed the first Star Wars, which I think you can objectively say of the original trilogy.
And the prequels.
Well, but I mean of the originals.
Oh, yeah.
He directed the first one, and that is probably the worst made movie of the trilogy. Like from a technical standpoint. Right? From a writing standpoint, from a direction standpoint, it's probably the weakest.
Sustained.
I think that the middle one is obviously the best, and then, very competent Return of the Jedi, right? But then you get back to George Lucas directing, and you're like, oh, the acting is wooden.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it's technical, but...
I almost feel like he does say, and this is more speaking of the prequel trilogies, but I almost feel like he does say that. Like, could you be more wooden in that delivery?
Apparently, all he said was faster, more intense.
Well, listen, the downfall of one of the downfalls of the prequel series was green screen. And so it gave wooden performances, the script, obviously. And these are things that they were trying to correct in the sequel series.
If I may say something positive about The Force Awakens.
That's the whole point of this show.
It's our job.
I feel like there were more practical effects and less green screen, I was impressed by that.
This movie comes out swinging.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? He lands on the whatever planet they're on. Jakku, thank you. He lands on Jakku, this being Kylo Ren, and we immediately see real explosions.
Yeah.
We see actual uniforms, actual costumes. We see, because don't you forget, in the prequel trilogy,
real laser blast.
There is not a single actual clone trooper that physically exists. Every single clone trooper was CGI. So to see a First Order stormtrooper in a real suit that also has a person in there, this is completely refreshing.
If I may, by the way, just once again giving context to those who may not be familiar, here is the brief synopsis.
Love to hear it.
Of the entire movie of The Force Awakens. About 30 years after the destruction of the second Death Star, Luke Skywalker has vanished. The remnants of the Empire have become the First Order, which seeks to destroy Luke and the New Republic. The First Order is opposed by the Resistance, led by General Leia Organa. On the planet Jakku, Resistance pilot Poe Dameron obtains a map to Luke's location, but he's captured by the First Order enforcer Kylo Ren, the son of Leia and Han Solo. Poe's droid BB-8 escapes with the map and encounters a scavenger named Rey. Rey and BB-8 team up with the defecting stormtrooper Finn, along with Han Solo and Chewie, to deliver the map to the Resistance.
Perfect.
There you go. That is what this movie is about.
In my breakdown, I break down the positives of each movie into 4s.
Please.
Because the 4s is with me.
Nah.
I was taking a drink when you said that stupid joke.
We're on the same side. So for The Force Awakens, and I will break these down as we discuss them, but these are my 4 positives. Star Wars was back and it felt like home. Also, it has compelling new characters. Also, it has so many great, satisfying cinematic moments. And lastly, the acting is the best in the series. I stand by each of these, and I want to get into them. Do you guys have positives you would like to bring up?
I think that this movie is well cast. I think that they got a really interesting young group of people.
Let's talk about that then.
Yeah, I think that Daisy Ridley was just like extremely charming.
Yeah.
I think as somebody that you're, going through and following this movie and kind of wondering about, wow.
Rank these actors. Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, Jake Lloyd, and Hayden Christensen. Who's top?
Daisy Ridley's probably
Yes.
the best of the group.
I would agree.
We've come to like Mark Hamill, but he's getting way too much credit. He is still the Tashi Station guy. Mm-hmm. And then obviously,
Also,
Hayden Christensen and Jake Lloyd.
this is also a movie where Oscar Isaac, a great actor at the time, didn't have to do much. He just had to have fun in the role.
So charming.
So charming.
Very charming.
John
And-
Boyega, almost unknown at the time, but the potential that it set up for his character and for him as an actor seemed like a lot.
Would you say that Finn is the main character?
Yes. Between Finn and Rey, this is... Oh, you don't think in The Force Awakens?
I think that we're in The Force
it
Awakens. I
shares-
think that we're following Finn.
Okay. Force Awakens, yes. I agree. As a sequel series as a whole, he gets shoved to the side.
no, that's
almost
fine.
We'll get there.
We're not
We'll
talking
get
about
there.
that yet.
But it's just Force Awakens, right? So
but here's some other
what
things
it established.
Well, I just want to talk about some things I like
Yes.
about The Force Awakens. I thought Kylo Ren's costume and the voice and his lightsaber, I think that all works. When he has the mask on and he's got the lightsaber and it's splitting out both on the sides on the hilt.
I got to be honest. I can't say how I really feel, but it is bad.
What?
Bad
They
A.
fly now?
Bad A.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
I really like Kylo Ren's design. He's really cool.
That, which is why, we'll get to this, but in the second movie when they decided to take his mask off almost the whole time, I was like, not as intimidating. BB-8 is adorable.
Yeah, that's right. The middle movie. I forget what's it called.
Last Jedi.
Star Wars. Ryan Johnson's middle finger. Got it.
Yeah.
They fly now? What? or family friendly. I don't know what to say there. But BB-8, adorable.
Yeah,
I absolutely
great
love the
merch.
design. And remember we got the remote controlled one that we were able to drive around with. That was so cool. Seeing Han and Chewie in the Millennium Falcon again was awesome.
We're home.
The Star Killer, yeah, it's a great moment. And it's true. All of it.
It's true.
Star Killer base is intimidating. That's an intimidating looking planet weapon that does intimidating planet weapon stuff. And hey, the red and blue lightsaber battle in the snowy forest looks pretty sweet.
Especially the part where the lightsaber
Is this
bounce,
where
huh?
you're stopping for positives?
That's all I got.
I really like the part where Kylo Ren lightsaber go.
I think we need to go deeper. For example, Kylo Ren. I don't think we deserved Adam Driver. I don't know if the script deserved Adam Driver. He brings so much to this role. In fact, he's my favorite character from the sequel series.
Adam Driver's overrated.
They fly now.
No.
In context, they fly now.
No, I'm saying as an actor, overrated.
In this role,
Have you ever seen Logan Lucky?
Yeah,
He's so fun.
he is.
I think he brings, and in this movie, they were setting him up. They were setting him up to be like a trainee Sith. Even though he was pretty compelling, he stopped a laser blast in midair.
I love that part. It's so cool.
Love how
His-
they do that everywhere else
His suit
and all the time.
was incredible.
They fly now.
Yeah. Everything about him is imposing. In a movie that is reminiscent and
Until he
rhymes
takes
with
the mask
A
off.
New Hope, I think he is this defining factor along with Finn. How cool to see a story take place from a
Of
stormtrooper's
which you
point
named
of
your
view.
cat. You named your cat after this character.
Oh, stop that. Oh, no. They are named the same thing. But how unique that we get to see a stormtrooper with a conscience
Yeah.
and then see the story from his point of view.
They're people now.
And so I think with the new characters, I think it's not only great acting, but great characters.
And while maybe I'm dancing here.
I know.
While maybe not as fully realized as people would have liked, I think that the moments that we get where Han is with Rey and like kind of like they're talking about how to fix the Millennium Falcon, where Han and Finn are on Starkiller Base and talking, like when he is really working with them, I go, that actually might have been the potential of this whole series that we didn't see enough of, but seeing it in The Force Awakens is so fun.
This is a positive.
I like the disclaimer.
Yes. But I will say some of the weakest actors in the sequel trilogy are the original trilogy actors.
Would you say Han Solo or Harrison Ford was?
No, I think Harrison Ford was fine. But like Luke and Leia, neither one of them were great in the sequel series. And I think the new actors, they were acting better than anyone did in the original trilogy. The lines and story they were given may not have been better, but their acting was better. See, positive.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
So, as you're saying with the moments, you're talking about Han Solo.
Sure.
Right? Some of the best moments of the movie go to him.
He's Han Solo.
So the lighting of the Solo Kylo Ren showdown conversation is perfect. Han is standing there, there's blue light reflecting on him, and then you have his son, Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, standing there in red. And you're like, okay, I've seen this before in Star Wars, but it was just more epic for the space they were in.
Oh, look, they're standing over a big hole. What's going to happen?
Truly. But there's a conversation and there's a struggle. And that's why I would disagree with you, Joel. I think Adam Driver is great. I think he's very nuanced in this role, right? You know that like he's probably going to lean dark side, but there's always the question because he plays the character of someone that has had to get to this point.
He plays the conflict
based on betrayal and hate. And so I think it's one of the great moments of the sequels is when, spoiler alert, he stabs his dad.
Which to me was devastating.
Yes.
But also, Harrison Ford kind of stipulated if he came back, he wanted to die in
Did you see it coming? Or did it make for a great moment in the cinema?
I saw it coming shortly before it happened, but it wasn't projected for me.
Okay.
No,
I know a lot of people saw it coming because they told me they did back when we originally reviewed this movie. But I didn't see it coming until just before.
And then right after that, you have the forest, like the winter forest scene on Starkiller Base with Rey, Finn, and Kylo. I think it's so visually awesome. Yep. By the way, most of my notes, especially in the later movies, are this looked really cool.
Yep.
They made a strategic change that I think made it look really cool. Which is
anyone can use a lightsaber?
Hey,
listen, the way they set that up.
I wanted to say sparkle, sparkle. They fly.
They fly now.
So they, instead of using sticks, like thin sticks that move very, very fast, like they did for the prequels, they used basically light tubes. What you could get, at this point, all of the fans have them.
Yeah.
Kent and I have these lightsabers, right? Like, and so they more or less were using that. But what it did is it gave you natural color, and
natural lighting
on it.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
Remember that moment in the trailer when the hilt zoom, comes out and you see Kylo Ren, obviously leading to that battle in the forest.
Yeah.
It's awesome. How did you guys feel about the ending? How did you feel about that cliffhanger ending, literally cliffhanger ending,
with
when Rey and Luke are standing there and she offers him the lightsaber, not knowing what was about to happen because it was about 2 years in between movies.
Because they get to the end and R2 decides he wants to wake up and then that solves everything. And then they
fly now.
That's a fact.
They fly now.
There was all fact. But they find Luke.
Every movie has a convenient end.
Some more than others.
They fly now.
But she holds out the lightsaber to him. He looks at her, very dramatic moment, and it cuts. And I went, okay, this is a pretty emotional, cool moment. And that was the end of the movie.
Okay, here's the main criticism that gets lobbied against this movie. It is too similar to A New Hope. Even George Lucas said that there wasn't anything new.
Well, and even J.J. Abrams, the people talked to him about how derivative was. He said, quote, "What was important for me was the introducing of brand new characters using relationships that were embracing the history that we know to tell a story that is new, to go backwards, to go forwards."
I don't mind that logic. And I'll just say this. This is my defense of this. You know what I would absolutely hate? Eating a wonderful bar of chocolate that I enjoy so much. And then someone dares to say, "Would you like another bar of chocolate?" Oh, the humanity. No, I only want fruit for the rest of my life. Until I have it one time, and then I never want that again. No, now I want something completely different every time. What is wrong with taking one of the greatest and most fun movies of all time and saying, we're going to polish that up,
Except
and we're going to give it to you again. And then you know what it's going to do? It's going to make $2 billion.
But you make a very good point, except for the fact it'd be like someone saying, "Hey, you know that chocolate bar you liked? Yeah. Here's a brand new chocolate bar, completely different from that one." And then you eat it and it's the same.
But
it's not
who's
the
saying
quality. It's not the quality. It's the expectation.
that? Well, and whose fault is that?
I blame JJ.
I believe
J.J. Abrams
though-
walked up to you and said it's going to be completely
He
different.
calls me every Thursday.
I know you're buddies, but come on.
I was one of these naysayers who said it's the same movie. Like, is this Mad Libs? Like, what's going on? Star Killer Base instead of Death Star, whatever. It makes sense. It brought Star Wars back. Like, musically, thematically, character-wise, the same ending. It brought it back.
It is a response to the prequel series where people said this doesn't always feel like it's part of the same universe.
Right.
And the bridge, I think one of the weaknesses of what is it called? Revenge of the Sith?
Sith.
Is
Yeah.
that what it's called? One of the weaknesses is it's like, oh, you've established this world that is like polished and clean and wonderful. And in about 18 years, you have to be completely dingy and run down and battleship parts. How do you get there? And it tries, and I don't think it fully succeeds. But to say
now?
I'm talking about the prequels.
Okay.
That's different. So then you get into...
no leg.
Yeah. But then, you get to these and it's like, yeah, this actually feels like it's an extension of the same world that we all liked.
The look and feel is very much in harmony.
And so it feeling the same is always used as a negative. And I just don't see that as a problem.
George Lucas, by the way, it was reported that he liked Rogue One more than The Force Awakens. Just pointing that out. It's just a fact.
Correct. He's correct.
I could defend Rogue One. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That's not what we're here to do.
You could take out the last scene and I still like Rogue
Zach,
One.
please. Can we do a rant?
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break here. I'm going to set a timer so we don't go off too crazily because we are already way too far in this episode.
Yep.
I'm going to set a short timer and you may have for permission to speak freely, rant break. And go.
Paint by numbers. This is a newer, slightly shinier Hope. No risks were taken here except for the mystery box elements that J.J. Abrams needs to just throw in there.
Speaking of shiny, let's talk Captain Phasma. Wow. Wow, she looks cool.
Chrome
Does
dome.
absolutely nothing. And then Finn has that line. Chrome dome.
Isn't it so stupid too? Because she's like one of the main generals, and they're like, "Hey, will you unlock the shields?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Sure."
Yeah.
Not like I'd rather die than do this. It's like
okay,
you're gonna mildly threaten me.
Speaking of villains, also I love Domhnall Gleeson.
Love him.
He's terrible. as General
Why
Hux.
is he so bad
terrible
in this
as
role?
General Hux? It's just like
He is such a good actor. He's horrible.
He's just mad and gritting his teeth the entire time.
And why? Like, there's just people yelling. This whole movie is just yelling.
Yeah.
Constant yelling. And I kept being like, okay, just stop yelling at each other. It's driving me nuts.
Oh, it's not constant yelling.
let's break down.
It's yelling mixed with, hey, Ray, why don't you try this once? Oh, it's done. You're
Ray,
perfect.
you're brilliant. By the way, Starkiller Base, Death Star 3, I'm bored. How long did it take to build that in the side of a planet? By the way, the First Order began in 21 ABY, which is 16 years after the Battle of Yavin and Return of the Jedi. They did not have time to build that Starkiller
They
Base.
had the technology, I guess.
Did the planet move, or did they just kind of stay still and be let's aim at those planets?
I think they built it in the... Oh, yeah. That's all.
Stop killing planets. You're killing my interest
And
in the
stop
series.
killing relationships. I hate it when movies and couples and sequels and they're not the people that were happy at the end, they're not happy anymore. Why are Han and Leia broke up? Why are they antagonistic towards each other again? I hate that. I hate it.
What really bothers me, and we mentioned it, though the lighting is cool, because they started using those stupid tubes for lightsabers. You know what you get? Lightsabers that flip and bounce off of each other. That fight at the end, they are literally smacking the swords against each other and they bounce like plastic because they are.
Yep.
And it bothers me so badly. I don't care how cool it looks.
But it bothers me more where they get these lightsabers from. Because where did Maz Kanata
It's a story for another time.
And they never tell it.
Because what J.J. Abrams is going to do is he's going to set all this stuff up and go, hey, Colin Trevorrow is going to fix this.
Since the original trilogy, our heroes have lost the Millennium Falcon because they have to find it on Jakku for some reason.
Yeah.
And then when they give the backstory, I'm like, that's so stupid.
But it has a square dish.
They've lost Luke's lightsaber, a marriage, and the legacy of these heroes has only become a rumor. They killed all the good energy that the original trilogy kept in our heads for years, for decades.
What did they do? What did they do when they defeated the Emperor? It seems like everything just kind of stayed the same.
Yes.
And that really bothered me when this came
didn't
out.
move forward.
But I'm sorry. You guys have been talking to me this whole time. You probably don't recognize me because I have a red arm.
Oh, that was stupid.
Hey, why did C-3PO need to point that out?
Remember when Leia's ex-husband dies? Right? Remember when he dies and then they come back and they're like, Leia, we're so sorry. Han didn't make it back. And his best friend for decades, Chewbacca, is standing there and Leia hugs Rey. And Chewbacca, it shows Chewbacca in the background just kind of standing there looking around like,
oh, don't worry. They'll make up for when he's really sad when Leia dies.
Yeah.
No, this is an absolute mess at times. And honestly, I'm bothered that the best Star Wars movie that J.J. Abrams has ever made is Star Trek 2009.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Is that time? Is that time?
Yeah, even though we were like mad,
Fine.
I feel pretty good.
The venting helps.
That's a fun movie. I don't mind it.
Shall we move on to The Last Jedi?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, new rant break.
No, not yet.
They fly now.
The second installment, The Last Jedi, was released on December 15, 2017, with Rian Johnson as screenwriter and director, and most of the cast returning. Here's the synopsis of the entire movie. That's
not
what it
in
said.
there. Well, one guy.
Yeah. Here's the synopsis. After finding Luke Skywalker in self-imposed exile, Rey attempts to convince him to teach her the ways of the Force. She also now seeks answers about her past and the conflict between Luke and his nephew, Ben Solo, now Kylo Ren. Unbeknownst to Luke, Rey starts using the Force to communicate with Kylo. Meanwhile, Leia leads the Resistance as they are pursued by the First Order, led by Supreme Leader Snoke. Rey leaves Luke in an attempt to redeem Kylo to achieve peace. After Kylo kills Snoke, Rey is forced to choose between ruling the galaxy with him or helping the outnumbered Resistance survive.
The Force, positive.
Yes, please.
It's time to let old things die. I want to get into that. It's a beautiful film. Kylo becomes a renegade, and it's not as cheesy as we remember. Where would you like me to start?
There are a couple moments, though. Are there not? Cheesy?
Hey, they fly now.
They fly now. In fact, I'll start with the cheesy, because we watched this movie, and everyone makes fun of the Force Zoom calls, right? The conversations that Rey and Kylo Ren have as she is on the island.
Which, in fact, have no precedence in the previous Star Wars movies.
Yes. However, Force powers.
I looked at it through the lens of how it is explained in Rise of Skywalker and felt differently.
Force powers have been introduced in every single movie. They're always kind of new things, and there are 66 Force
My favorite
powers.
is when he pulls the S off his chest.
And it's cellophane.
throws
I
it
know,
in
right?
cellophane.
Considering, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all that strange that they could communicate that way, especially because someone with a greater force power made that happen. They do explain it, and I think because this movie is slower in pace, please don't see that as a negative yet. I think it's important that these two main characters of this movie, because Finn is sidelined, that Rey and Kylo do share and do communicate. I think it's very important because of what the ending becomes that they have these Zoom calls. I don't think it's very cheesy anymore.
Calls.
I don't mind them because to me it was like us as the viewers seeing something that maybe was happening in the minds of those using the Force all along. When it's like think of the conversation that kind of not the conversation, but the back and forth that happens with Luke and Leia at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Granted.
Maybe when Luke is seeing that, or when Leia is seeing that, when they're trying to speak to each other, maybe they did physically see each other in their mind's eye. You don't know.
But it seems like it was more telepathic than anything. They heard the voice in their head or felt it.
Yeah.
But
this is just a physical
it didn't
manifestation.
seem
Yes, it
as
is.
tactile. Like
It
she
is.
never would have noticed that Luke had his shirt off.
Hey, he's jacked.
Luke?
Kylo.
He's ripped. He can take his shirt off anytime.
He's wearing some high pants.
By the way, I do want to point
Practical.
out that
Do you want to see Kylo crack? No.
family friendly. So while this movie came out in 2017, sadly, Carrie Fisher passed away in December of 2016, so about a year before. But she had completed her role as filming as Leia in this movie.
If only there was a convenient way to write her off.
They fly now. She flies now.
What?
You know what? Sustained.
So there's a moment, and the next thing is there was a moment. We all knew that Carrie Fisher had passed away when we went and saw this movie, and there's a moment in the movie where
A logical moment.
where Princess or General Leia is blown up in a spaceship and sent into space.
Yes.
Her son doesn't actually pull the trigger, does he?
He has conflict.
He has conflict. Someone else
And then
does
two
it.
TIE fighters come in
That's
and
right.
do it for him.
And I thought in that moment, wow. And I said this on the Bacon bit. I'm like, wow, that is so bold of them to do
Bold,
that.
but would it have seemed tasteless had they fulfilled
And that's
that?
what I think they were worried about.
Yeah.
Because then they decided to keep her alive in the movie, but maintain her in a coma throughout the rest of the movie, pretty much.
Yes.
Which seemed an odd thing to do. That's
Okay.
all. I just said that.
I feel as though that was the plan, though. I don't think that is related to...
Do you think if she hadn't passed away, they
reality.
would have let her survive in the movie?
She comes in, like when we see Leia again, she is like bandaged up, clearly just woken up from a coma and kind of saves the day.
Yes.
So that to me feels...
Kind of saves the day or kind of passes away?
Well, that just feels to me that it was intentional.
Okay.
Because it was planned for her to be a bigger deal in the third.
Allow me to speak factually before I defend it, but Rian Johnson comes into this franchise and he says, you know what, J.J. Abrams, good job, buddy. And says, I got it from here. And I'm going to change that movie that you just rhymed with A New Hope. And I'm going to make it a whole new thing. And whatever people have been expecting or whatever theories they've been crafting, which, by the way, the theories were really fun back in the day.
Who is Rey?
Who is Rey?
Snoke?
Which we don't really talk about Snoke.
No, but the grand villain, Supreme Leader Snoke. And Rian Johnson says, it's time to subvert everything. And so this is said in the movie. It makes no bones about it. Kylo Ren says, it's time to let old things die. He says to Rey, you're still holding on. Let go. I feel like he's talking to us.
The first thing that we see is Luke taking that lightsaber and tossing it over his shoulder. And that is a literal, whatever you think doesn't matter. I'm doing my own thing now. Which, again, after you think about the reaction to The Force Awakens, people said, you know what, it was fun. But as I think about it, I'm not going to really remember this because there's nothing unique. And then this guy comes in and goes, you want unique? I'll give you Crystal Foxes.
He still gave us a movie with a triptych, right? We have we have Finn.
I know what that is, but you want to explain that to the listener?
So a 3-act structure, like all converging together. So we have Finn and Rose Tico, and they are on Canto Bight, the casino planet.
Yes.
We have Poe and Holdo and Leia, and they are in the ship that is being pursued. And then we have
welcome to the story, Laura Dern.
And we have Rey and Luke on Skellig Michael, which, by the way, is a beautiful island.
Yeah.
It's actually legitimately pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
And so these stories all have their dramatic high points together. That's so very Star Wars.
Yeah, very.
The pacing is a little unusual, but he just kept doing this. He kept being like, hey, you guys want to know about Rey? Guess what? She's nobody. In fact, that is a theme throughout the movie because, and honestly, I think it's a powerful one. I didn't at the time like it. I think I like it more now because at the end of the movie, when the kid with the broom is just standing there and this kid, is a servant, and then he just summons the broom to his hand. The movie says anyone can be a Jedi. Anyone can have these powers.
I like that because if you think about it, it does align with what had happened in the prequels, which is, they had just had a whole class full of these kids.
Yeah.
What happened to those kids again?
Oh,
they fly now.
Okay.
They fly now.
And also, I'm jumping to like different story elements, but this is just where it subverted everything. You have the main villain, and he asks Rey and Kylo to come to the Red Room. And whatever, his Red Room, Snoke's chambers, and Kylo kills the main villain of this franchise at this point.
When we all wondered who is Snoke, we didn't get any answers there. No. And then who's Rey? Nobody. Never mind.
What was your favorite Snoke theory?
Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis was the main one.
Darth Plagueis, but I also liked that he was Mace Windu.
Oh yeah, that was one.
That was one where it said he was
because he's all burned up
horribly scarred.
Yeah.
I also heard Jar Jar, but I'm like, that's a stretch.
Well, because he was a hologram in the original one.
Yeah.
But even with Poe, you want to root for Poe in the chess game he has with Holdo. Even he is wrong in this case. The movie wants to say whatever you want to happen is not going to happen. Let the old things die. And honestly, I think it drives the point home. Maybe not in the way we want, but that's what subversion's all about.
Can I permission to talk about a cheesy line that I like?
Please do.
You keep it a positive.
When Poe is talking to Leia and she is mad at him, she's berating him for the gravity in space that drops bombs.
They land now.
Yeah, it's fine. So when he's getting in trouble and she's like, you can't just jump in an X-Wing and blow stuff up. And then later, 35 seconds later, when he's like, permission to jump in an X-Wing and blow stuff up. And then she's like, lets him go.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That was my favorite cheesy line.
I thought the red and black look of Snoke's chambers was pretty cool looking. I thought the porgs were cute. I liked seeing Luke and R2-D2 get excited to see each other. BB-8's still adorable.
Still.
And then we talked about the look. George Lucas actually said that The Last Jedi, he described it as beautifully made.
It is.
And this is one of the kind of the best looking of the sequel series, I'd say.
I don't think one of. I think
it is.
I think this is easily
because
the best looking.
It's like a savory meal.
This one gives you Kylo and Rey's fight with the elite Praetorian Guard. That gives you the ship light speeding through the other ship. You get the red salt under the white salt look.
Salt. It has Luke standing against the AT-ATs. It is poster material. Every frame is a painting in this.
I feel this way. This is a general statement, but specifically with this one, while we're talking about how it looks, it was really nice and refreshing in this year, 2026, to watch 3 movies with, what's it called? Color.
Yes.
I think that all 3 of these movies, but again, this is the best looking one. All 3 of these movies are like, oh, that is not a gray nothing. All of these are well lit. All of these are very colorful.
Yes.
And, that to me is refreshing here now a decade later going, oh, movies don't do that anymore. Movies don't even try to have contrast lighting or color.
Yeah.
But this movie does a really good job.
It's an absolutely gorgeous film.
Fantastic.
Now, if I may, I want to bring it back to story. I think there's some good story elements here for Kylo Ren. And I think this is like the hill I will die on and get stabbed in the side with a lightsaber is Kylo
You
Ren.
just punch it. Do we decide that fuels his hate fire? Is that why Kylo Ren punches himself?
No, here's the thing.
Probably.
So Kylo Ren, throughout these first 2 movies, he's being told your training is not yet finished. He seems like a pretty big deal. He kills his own father and his training was not finished. And so when he's summoned to the throne room, he is told it's time to complete your training and kill Rey. And I have a feeling, or at least when I watched it this time, I went, this guy knows he'll always be stepped on. This guy knows he's always subservient to Snoke. And truly, there are character moments where he just has to take control and let the old things die. Make sure there's not 2 anymore, right? And then says Rey, let's just take over and change everything. If this movie had gone through with that and they had joined sides, whether for good or for evil, I would have been really excited by the end of this movie. I think it would have redeemed the entire experience for me. But it did kind of, maybe this is they fly now. It went back to bad guys versus good in the end. And I wanted to see a bigger change up.
Do I have to they fly now what you may have wanted to see?
Yeah, you probably do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then while we're on this, I'll just say this and walk away. What I really wanted was Dark Phoenix. I wanted Rey in a Dark Phoenix-esque storyline.
You wanted the X-Men to be in this?
Why is Rey so powerful? Because she contains a power that she can't contain.
Oh, okay.
So you would like to see her potential rather than just with doohickeys, the Millennium Falcon.
And then we flip-flop.
Oh, and she gets evil and Kylo's good?
Completely.
The pivot point of The Last Jedi, it's come with me, and we now see them start to head in different directions.
That would be interesting.
Where Rey succumbs to the unimaginable power that she contains, and we see a Ben Solo redeemed. That is where I wanted to pivot at this point. I don't know if that's negative.
Zach, why aren't you a screenwriter?
Guys, can we have a pitch show?
Would have been sick.
Can we pivot?
I would like to know about Luke.
Luke dying?
Luke in general? Just Luke Skywalker?
Yoda shows up.
Yoda's in it.
Yeah.
Hey, books are in this movie. The first appearance of Star Wars books.
Shadow of the Empire was actually one of the books.
That's not a thing.
Fate of the Empire.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Anything? How does this movie end?
Luke becomes one with the Force and disappears.
Oh, okay. That's
after
thematic.
After corporeally transferring himself across galaxies.
Sparkle.
He touched Leia's face. He held the dice, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he gave her the dice. Which, by the way, were introduced for the movie Solo.
Yeah.
Hey, they fly now. Hey, they weren't real, though. They disappear. They were not real.
Oh.
The other thing that
Rise of Skywalker, they come.
Well, no, but you actually physically see them. I don't know if you saw that, or it's just like a kind of a throwaway thing. The dice are on the floor and they disappear. So they weren't actually there. That's because Leia just left them because she knew.
She left them even though they weren't.
Zach,
they were given.
I'm thirsty. Can we do a rant break?
Fine, ready and go.
Hold on, let me just press on this giant sea cow.
The sea cow
threw the lightsaber over his shoulder and called it a laser sword.
George Lucas did that.
That moment when the powerful emotional moment of holding out the lightsaber.
Remember how we waited 2 years to see what happened?
The conflict.
As soon as he flung it over his shoulder, that's the moment where Star Wars broke for me. That is the exact precise moment when I went, what are you doing?
Remember when you were a child? Or for some people an adult, and you're like, Luke Skywalker is the hero in the hero's journey, right? Mm-hmm. He is the one. This guy deserves a happy ending because he's basically going to be a space priest for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And this is what happens.
He's miserable.
He's miserable.
The Mandalorian did it so much better of having him at full power.
Even Mark Hamill, as miserable as he is, says, what am I, Jake Skywalker? This is not Luke.
I'm just glad CP3PO's armor is gold again. Glad we got that red story covered.
The wrong Tico lived. The wrong Tico lived. At the beginning, Rose Tico's sister died in the gravity bomb ship. And Rose Tico lived.
Rose Tico, okay, so the actress can act very well, but she was also given terrible lines. And
She was.
Her character is ridiculous. She in no way deserved all the online hate that she got for being in a movie, but I just cannot stand her as a character.
Hey, remember how we actually didn't talk about Finn once for this entire movie? because
he
he's
gets
not in
sidelined.
it, or what he does
Sidelined.
has no positive bearing on the entire movie.
No.
I mentioned this to our baking council, but here's the thing. This is a big situation of just talk to each other, and this movie doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I get it. There's
movie-
things in movies.
Yeah.
Yes, the Eagles could have taken them to Mount Doom.
Sure.
This
Or
is not
Dumbledore
that-
could have talked to Harry.
This is not that argument.
This movie-
it is literally, there are entire
Yep.
plot lines
Yep.
that don't need to exist.
Yep.
Everything
Oh.
that Finn and Rose do
You mean
ruin everything, at
that
the end.
Holdo could have just talked to
If
Poe?
Holdo had
Yeah.
just said, "Hey, I've got this plan, and guess what? It's good. We're gonna do a low-speed chase through space
Holdo's the worst.
until we just go and hide on a planet." That plan is great, and what ruins it? Not communicating.
Yep.
Though, so that causes Finn and Rose to go off on this
Yep.
stupid, agenda-ridden journey to
Find Benicio del Toro.
with Benicio del Toro, who like
Stutters for some reason.
We get a great actor in a Star Wars movie, and he has that to do.
Yeah.
All for that plot line to lead to ruining Holdo's plan. Which,
Yep.
let's be clear, was
Yep.
good.
I-
Why didn't anybody talk to
guess what?
anybody?
Luke and Ray talk to each other a lot. In fact, he said, and I quote, "I've seen this raw strength only once before, in Ben Solo. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now." Luke, you try to kill your nephew in his sleep.
Yeah.
It didn't scare you enough before, and you're just going to be like, Luke, hey, Ray.
We talk about the solemnity of Luke's character, by the way, but also don't forget he keeps cracking jokes the whole time, and I feel like they're like, Mark Hamill, you're funny. Why don't you throw a joke in here or two? And I'm like, that's not Luke Skywalker. He's not a comedian. Stop making him tell jokes.
Star Wars is not a funny movie.
Is
Harrison Ford is a humorous person.
Is this General Hugs? Hold, please. Hold, please.
Holding. Can you hear me? Oh my gosh! And could you get a worse performance? I mean, somehow Palpatine returned. No, somehow Hux was bad in the first movie. He is so much worse in this one.
He gets so much worse.
You know what? I feel bad that you hated on Finn because he almost had an amazing moment in this movie where he would have sacrificed himself to save everyone that
He's
was
flying
hidden
up
in the
there.
mountain.
It would have been a noble sacrifice, and then Rose Tico knocks him off the pass and gives that wonderful line of, "That's how we win, not fighting what we hate, but saving what we love." It makes no sense, and it really kills that entire moment.
Just make sure that when you force project yourself across planets, that when you do, you give yourself a nice and tidy haircut and some dye, okay? Why on earth, Luke Skywalker, noted sandy blonde fellow,
Yeah.
why does the old version of him have a black beard?
I don't know.
We were pretty shocked at that scene, right? Because it was like, oh, he's not there. And then he dies.
Yeah. And
Luke Skywalker
he just kind of fades away.
is like, I'm tired. I'm going to nap forever.
I've reconnected with the Force
Yeah.
forever.
Why are the Jedi in this movie so against the Jedi, by the way? Like, Luke hates him, and then Yoda's like, burn it down. I'm happy.
I almost said something positive about the movie.
No, don't you dare.
Clone Wars kind of explained that the
They
Jedi,
kinda do.
the Jedi low-key suck.
Yeah, they kinda created the Sith,
Yeah,
so-
that's pretty much
That's
their
not
fault.
what we want to know. Also, Snoke. Man, they once again built him up as this big character, this awesome character, and they just kill him off right away.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
Ryan
That was
Johnson
pointless.
going, hey, you want to have fun? You want to have water cooler talk? No.
Yeah.
But also, Space Mary Poppins. Was that one of the worst scenes in film history?
That is one of the moments where I went, wow, we've hit a really emotional peak here. And then apparently the opening of the eyes and then the floating back looks so corny. Everyone laughed in the theaters. They laughed at that moment because it looked
It
bad.
technically should have been cool. Why
It
is
should have
so
been
bad.
I think it's because, I don't know. The flying thing just looked corny. Mary Poppins, it's Carrie Poppins. They
Running out of time. Final negativity.
Okay, so I just feel like if the main cast is the only one apparently that's expendable because they don't want to kill off any of the new cast, explosions only kill bad guys. Like,
Yes.
they get knocked over by so many explosions and they're just like, get up like, oh, that was rough.
Why does Luke look at Ray like that when he's drinking that milk?
Oh, why do we have to see Luke drink that milk?
It's so wrong.
Disney has no understanding of how lightsabers work. When we look at Force Awakens, literally Finn and Kylo Ren get completely slashed in ways that have killed other characters.
Yep.
And they just get scratches. Sorry. And then you turn around and go, yeah, we're going to have this fight in this red room and it's going to be really cool. And it is actually one of the messiest,
by the way,
and most confusing fight scenes I've ever.
Never watched the stuntman breakdown of this fight because it ruins everything.
What?
The only times that lightsabers cross is when we are doing the flashback to Kylo Ren and
Yes.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Outside of that, you don't actually get a proper lightsaber fight, and that bothers me.
Yeah. Also, animal rights. Go. Yay.
Gambling.
Bad.
Did you know that
More profiteers.
Mark Hamill played the drunk CG character that kept putting coins into BB-8? You know that he used as ammunition.
Oh, so we got off the island. Okay, good.
Cool. Hey, I like the unreliable narrator of the story of the past. I will say that.
Yeah.
Wait, are we back in positive?
I'll go back to positive. We're shifting.
Okay.
Here.
Ah.
I actually liked that there were 3 different versions of what happened that night that birthed Kylo Ren.
Yes.
I think that it's like this.
And miscommunication.
This is how Luke saw it, and then actually this is how Kylo saw it, and maybe the truth is this, and maybe it's somewhere in
Would
between all of
you
that.
have liked
I
to
like
see the destruction of the Jedi Temple and what happened with everyone? Because we see the outcome, essentially. Him with his hand on C-3PO, or sorry, R2-D2, and there's fire. That's it.
Underused opportunity to involve the Knights of Ren. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
The Knights?
Save it.
We're being positive.
Positive, but we are moving on
Thinking
to
positive.
The Rise of Skywalker. So, the final installment of The Rise of Skywalker was released on December 20th, 2019. It was directed by J.J. Abrams, once again, who co-wrote it with Chris Terrio. The film is set a year following The Last Jedi and depicts the return of Palpatine, who has been secretly controlling the First Order from the Sith planet Exegol. Palpatine orders Kylo Ren to find and kill Rey, who is revealed to be Palpatine's granddaughter. Palpatine unveils the Final Order, a Sith armada of Star Destroyers to reclaim the galaxy. Rey and the Resistance learn of Palpatine's return and embark on a quest to find him. They eventually locate Exegol. Rey confronts Palpatine while the Resistance attack the Sith fleet.
They fly now.
The Fours.
I just read the
I'm
synopsis.
sorry.
Yeah.
I was yelling at myself. I'm sorry.
The Fours of this movie. Course corrections sometimes worked. There's always something happening. Every main character gets a happy ending, and it looks cool. Let's talk about course corrections because The Rise of Skywalker is a course correction.
Let's look at the real world aspect of this.
Yes.
Is, and I mentioned it earlier, Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic World, was
Yes.
supposed to direct this movie.
Yes.
And I think maybe this is just me. I think Disney went, oh, he's bad at making movies.
So he made a movie called The Book of Henry.
Yeah.
And it wasn't received well. And I think he had a story treatment for this movie. And I think they scrambled after Rian Johnson kind of sabotaged everything, at least their original plans. And I don't think they liked Colin Trevorrow at that point. So they said, who do we know and who do we trust?
Yeah. What made $2 billion?
J.J. Abrams. And so
What's cooler than $2 billion?
$1 billion, because that's what this movie made.
Oh.
With this,
They fly now?
yeah, that's fair. And so I think he scrambled, and I don't think he had enough time to make his movie. And I say this in defense of, I think he planned this story to go throughout the trilogy and not just say, we need to wrap this up. Like, what can I do here? He was working on a deadline. These movies came out every 2 years. And so I think he made the best movie he could have.
J.J. Abrams had I think nearly an impossible task.
Yes.
Where they said, hey, you made a movie. Someone else tried to actively undo that movie. I need you to undo his movie and also finish a 9-movie saga. Go.
Some of these course corrections I feel like were okay. For example, they wanted to bring back Rey's parentage. I don't think anyone saw the Rey Palpatine thing coming.
And I wonder if that's why they did it.
Yeah, I think they were like,
I think they spelled it out.
there were, I think there were some
a
people.
7-year-old would tell
There were some people that believed that maybe Rey was related to Luke. I don't know why they would
I don't
think
know.
that.
The big thing for me, if there's the evidence exists in Force Awakens, when she touches the lightsaber, what voices does she hear? She hears Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan, or as Ben Kenobi saying Rey, and she hears Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, these are your first steps. Why does she only hear Kenobi?
Because she could have been a Kenobi.
I think that
Kenobi is Palpatine's grandson.
that is the direction that I wanted it to head.
I believe that a course correction was also showing that with the whole Palpatine reveal, love it or hate it, that Rey and Kylo both descend from the dark side. I think it's a cool concept. That there's a greater purpose for these two, that even though Anakin is the balance of the Force, I think there's still so much dark side within him. And a Palpatine, That's really interesting.
Introduction of new force powers is not necessarily a bad thing. I think the idea of this force dyad,
I'm a big fan of it.
I think is really cool. And then, like I said,
Force dyad.
So it's when the Emperor is talking to them at the end, by the way, because Palpatine returned somehow.
Right.
He basically is like, Rey, strike me down and my soul will join you. And that's when Kylo's like, actually, I'm still here. And because they were both the chosen one for this generation.
That's right.
none can live while the other survives.
Yes. And so it is a very new dynamic. And I thought it was kind of cool.
I think it is an interesting, direction to go. And then I think it resolves some of the issues that the Zoom calls that you talked about.
Yes.
Once you go, you haven't seen this before because they have a connection that hasn't been seen, in so many years.
Yes.
So they can fax each other lightsabers.
Yeah.
They fly now.
What would you call it? Transfer?
There is precedent for it.
I didn't say there wasn't. I just said
they do it.
They can transfer lightsabers to each other.
They set it up well.
They can grab necklaces from each other.
The interesting scene where he figures out where she's talking to him from.
Zach, when you saw this movie, and you said you came off of Last Jedi saying, not much happened. It's a little bit slower, disappointing. Wasn't there something always happening in this movie?
So I did find The Last Jedi to be quite slow paced for me.
Yes.
I'm trying to be.
That's fine. We're talking about.
I found it to be slowly paced.
Yes.
And when I was watching this again, my wife said, this is factual, it looked like my soul was leaving my body as I was watching this movie.
They fly now.
Hey, she said that. Okay.
That's what she said.
How do I explain this? I think this movie is
Super Mario Galaxy?
much dumber and
They fly now?
so much more fun than The Last Jedi. Like, I had a good time. What I compare it to is ABBA. ABBA's great, and there's nothing bad about him, but it's actually Phil Spector, but I don't want to talk about him. But he had this thing in music called the Wall of Sound.
Yes.
Which is just a ton of stuff happening. They were throwing music against the wall, and some of it stuck. And that's what you have here. There's just so much going on.
Because it's a journey to find a wayfinder, to find a wayfinder, to find a planet.
It's finding a thing to get a thing to find.
Yes. And so the road
Same
trip
plot as the first one.
the road trip aspect of it.
Good thing we have a coin.
It keeps you watching. Because you're like, what happens next? What planet do they go to next? Is there world building going on here?
But for the record, I don't mind movies where you got to go get a doohickey and then you got to use the doohickey to do a thing. That is perfectly fine. It happens a million times.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I accept it.
Can I defend my point of every main character gets a happy ending?
Please.
Sure.
So in a way, Han, Luke, and Leia, because by the way, Leia does die in this movie for her son. And I think that's a really noble thing. I think in a way of kind of reaching out to her son through the Force especially because the actress was passed away.
Right.
Is a noble way.
They had to use footage from
Yes.
The Force Awakens, I believe.
Yes, they did.
Maybe more on that in a second.
But it's a way to give homage to this character and the actress.
It did
Okay?
feel like they were giving a lot of people lines so they could say goodbye to Carrie Fisher, not
Yes.
necessarily Princess Leia.
Yeah, I think so too. So Han died originally to distract Kylo in The Force Awakens and buy the team some time. Luke originally died to give the rebellion a chance to flee the planet. But in this movie, Luke comes back and he's everything we wanted him to be, kind of, from The Last Jedi. When he was all like a sourpuss. And now he's like, actually, you must respect the lightsaber.
when he catches the lightsaber that she's trying to throw into the fire.
Right. And Han comes back-ish in what Kylo believes would be his, coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
And there's a proper send-off when it seems like everyone,
Han rolls out of bed.
all the original
Catches him for a
characters
second.
were sad in the way they went out. But now all of a sudden, it writes it in a way that's like, hey, they're all in the same movie. This is what you wanted to see. And they're going out. Yes, they're going out, but in a good way.
I think the cracks on Kylo's mask looked cool when he pieced it back
It's like
together.
the Japanese gold.
In fact, let's just talk about how this movie looks cool, because it does.
Yeah. I liked seeing Lando again. Hey, it's fun to see him again.
Oh my goodness.
Babu Frick is a funny name. There's a positive.
Joel!
That's a positive.
Every time.
It's a positive.
This is your client, Joel.
Babu Frick.
That's actually pretty funny.
I like Carrie Russell. Just pointing that out. She's in this movie.
In the movie?
Remember, she's in this movie.
Do you like her in the movie?
I do.
Her eyes are pretty.
I do think it would have been nice if she was in this movie.
She was in this movie.
I think it would have been nice if she was
They
actually
fly now.
in this movie.
They fly now. Once again, sets are practical. I really liked that. I did like the exchange of Poe calling out the others, everyone else's backstory when they find out he's a spice runner. They're like, you're a spice runner? He's like, you're a smuggler? You're a spice runner? You're a scavenger? Like,
Yeah.
let's just like not, or yeah. So anyway.
Everybody's got a little sketched past.
Exactly. And I was surprised how quickly they killed off General Hux after he revealed he was the spy.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be more to that, but instead it was like, nope, he's gone. And I was surprised.
I believe it's a course correction to give a more better general, which is Richard Grant,
General Pride.
that he was better at the job. And I think they just want to make him scary.
Is he a known character?
No.
Okay.
No.
The way that they revealed him, I felt like I was missing something from the larger universe.
Yep. But they kind of shortcutted that by giving you his name.
But let's think about some of the scenes, right? There is the Star Tour scene where it's light
It's
speed
almost
skipping.
General Wrath or General Lust or General Gluttony, but they went with General Pride. I'll do it myself. They find it.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of cool scenes. I think the desert chase, even though that's where they fly now comes from, looks cool, looks practical. Even though this movie obviously is not in the volume but on green screen, but it looks cool. I think
that's right. They're having that scene from The Matrix there in the middle, and
yes, I think the duel on the crashed Death Star with the waves coming up, visually striking.
Yes.
water versus lightsaber never really been explored, and I thought that was really visually shot really cool. Yeah.
Also, the look of the Emperor. Like, we may not have wanted to see him in this movie.
With the dead eyes, and like hooked up to that
And the
machine.
hands and
yeah, and the
He's ghastly.
rotted hands. It's a good horrific image.
How did you guys feel about the lightning maelstrom that he sends into the rebellion as they were flying above him? Not as a story element, did it look cool? That's what I want to know.
It looked cool.
Whoa. Is this the actual guy that fell down the hole, or is this a clone?
I'm not clear on that.
I believe it's the actual guy.
I am under the impression that this is the real Palpatine,
The one hooked up to the machine.
and that the Emperor that we know, that
The one raging against others while he's in the machine.
indeed, that the one thrown down the hole was the clone.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
It changes too much from the original trilogy, and I don't think we should touch that.
Okay.
Also, guys, Rose is barely in the movie.
That's a positive thing we just said.
Yes,
Ken.
yes, it is. We all agree.
Yeah.
In fact,
positive.
I feel a little bit bad because we get Janna, who is also, there's a Stormtrooper subplot. Who, by the way, a main character.
Yeah.
That is the one I posted in the Bacon Council chat and said, does anyone know the name of this character? She has multiple lines in The Rise of Skywalker. No one knew.
Because here's the thing.
No one.
Finn should have been greater in this series.
They tried.
And at this point, they went, hey, he has something to do at the end with people that were also stormtroopers. And I was like, give him force powers.
They give him a little bit more to do. He is definitely a more serious character in this one. He is not the comic relief, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, thought he had more to do.
What did he have to say?
Ray!
No, but he needed to tell her something.
Oh,
when they were going down the hole. Save it.
I'm under the impression that
He was going to love her?
No, he wanted to tell her that he felt the Force.
yes. Originally, that is what.
And I think it sets it up as him going,
Is that
I
what we
want to
call
tell you.
romantic feelings in this universe?
No, I think that we want it to be set up like, oh, he's going to tell her that he loves her or something. And I think it was, I don't know what this is,
I'm
but
Force
I'm
sensitive.
feeling the Force.
Yes.
But there was no payoff.
It should have been. And I think the setup was there, and I'm going to use that in my headcanon.
Don't hate me for this. I appreciated the bookend tactic of ending the movie on Tatooine, bearing the lightsabers of Leia and Luke on Tatooine, even though Leia never lived in Tatooine. But
They fly now.
I appreciated that it was like we're
But
trying to tie
that
it all
element
together.
of the ending.
That element of the ending. I appreciated that element of the ending.
So I have a question.
Time for a pick?
No. This is factual. How old is the dagger? And I wasn't paying super close attention. I got the impression this time that dagger is not as old as we think.
Oh.
It can't be.
Because it has, when 3PO reads it, he gives you coordinates.
It's coordinates, and that's
And
where
it has to match up with relatively new wreckage.
Right.
Yes.
We're being careful. So according to people who know on the internet, the Sith dagger was created shortly after the Battle of Endor. So it actually,
okay.
this is not an ancient dagger. So I think that one of the biggest maybe plot holes that people point to is thinking that this is an ancient dagger. It's not.
That wasn't my issue with it.
Well, I understand, but so I will defend it a little bit of saying that this dagger was created after the wreckage.
Yeah.
So I think it makes it make just a touch more sense because it has coordinates on it and it has the shape of from a very specific angle of the wreckage.
They fight now.
Okay. All right, we can't stop anymore. Just have your rant break. Here you go.
The dead speak. What a horrible way to start a crawl. Where did that come from? By the way, do you guys know where the dead speak came from? Do you guys know where they announced the return of Palpatine? Fortnite.
Ew.
There's a Fortnite tie-in.
Not at the end of the last movie, not as a tease of like, oh, isn't that crazy? Fortnite.
Somehow Palpatine returned has become a joke, a meme, because it is one of those screenwriting moments where like, we don't know how it happened. It happened. Good luck. And it feels like every single line in this movie is winking to the camera. Every line.
There is a line where stormtroopers are standing there and they see 2 Knights of Ren walk by and they go, Knights of Ren? And the other one says, goals. Goals.
I like the part where the villain comes in that you haven't seen the entire time and he goes, I'm the architect of your pain. Because that happens.
I am really tired. I am so tired of the they were behind everything all along trope. I hate that.
I made Snoke several times in a tank.
Yep. It's like I was behind everything that's happened. And it's like, no, you weren't. Stop pretending.
I'm the author of your pain, James.
So that one Snoke that was like in power, was he just like the best of the bad clones?
If that's the best. Also, can I point out that Kylo Ren, he can sense that General Hux is uneasy about his helmet, but he can't sense that he's the spy. How does that make any sense? And then the line delivery of, I am the spy is so ridiculous.
Can we talk about hand-waving conveniences real quick? Because when they're on the desert planet, going to Carnival, they fall through quicksand and they find the dagger that was created right after the battle on Endor, right? Stumble across it, and they're like, oh, this is exactly where we need to go. Let's take the Millennium Falcon and go to where we need to go to find the Death Star, right? And they go, and they crash land, which doesn't show it, by the way, off screen. They are all of a sudden crash landed exactly where they need to go so they can walk up the hill and then point the dagger at the Death Star. The perfect placement. That's it. They
happen to the Goonie it, where they're holding it up and being like, oh, that matches up perfectly. Let me pull out this thing.
Which, by the way, Stranger Things is like, we're going to use that. And then they could have just gone to the throne room and been like, this is a pretty interesting room. The holocron is just down the hall.
Yeah.
It's nowhere special.
Yeah.
And they had to get to Exegol because the Emperor was there with all of his minions sitting there, which are also clones.
Mm-hmm.
Are they real? I don't think they're real.
I think they all died at the end.
With the people,
the audience.
I think that they are the
chanters.
They're the manifestation of all of the Sith that ever were. I don't think they're real.
That would actually be better.
Yeah,
I think they are because they're not. Their faces aren't shown. I think they're an idea.
The idea of the passive Jedi, and don't get me wrong, Jedi are passive, but I think the idea of the passive Jedi not killing a giant serpent that's about to kill them, and instead being like, oh, this lion has a thorn in its paw, and pulls it out and is like, thank you, and slithers away, was dumb. And the only reason they put it in there is to be like, we're going to set a precedent for healing powers.
It's every James Bond gadget ever made, where it's like, we have to think of the scenario in which it's going to be used and then introduce the tool.
Which healing properties... that would have been handy for Qui-Gon Jinn. That would have been very handy, as he got
force powers that are never used again have precedent in that very movie. Speed running.
Hey guys,
running.
Remember Knights of Ren? Yeah, because J.J. Abrams barely did. No, he's like, hey, they have kind of cool suits, and there's going to be a scene where they help Kylo Ren put his mask back together. Then he has to fight him. I'm okay with the fight. I'm not okay with the Knights of Ren and how they're presented.
Make sure you take both lightsabers to the battle so my sweet baby boy can have them.
They kept building up artificial plot walls around this movie too. Like in the first one, it was like R2-D2 is asleep. We can't wake him up. Oh, he woke up. Problem solved. In this one, it was C-3PO knows exactly what that knife says and exactly where to go. But for some reason, when Anakin was creating him back in Tatooine when he was a little boy, he decided, you know what? I'm going to make it so he can't read Sith language.
Programmed by the Republic.
Can we talk about fake deaths? Chewbacca?
He was dead for a hot 2 seconds.
C-3PO?
Dead for a hot 2 seconds. There's like there was no stakes.
Ben Solo.
Hot for a dead 2 seconds.
Hot for a dead 2 seconds?
No, he was.
Actually, you know what? Yes.
He was hot for way longer than that.
They were
But
trying.
Come on. That's pretty good.
The C-3PO saying goodbye scene was like one of those things where I'm like, I feel no emotion here because I know for a fact you're going to come back. And sure enough, R2-D2 uploads his memories immediately. It's like, well, okay.
Oh, you didn't know he did a data backup from before they left.
Hey, you guys know
but
how
still had current information somehow.
Remember how Maz Kanata was like again to tell the story?
Yeah.
You know what she did in this movie? She finally gave Chewbacca his medal.
Oh my gosh, which was a
From A
meme
New
basically
Hope.
at this point.
Ugh.
Oh, General Hux being the spy made absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense
it was
based on
cleanup
everything
work.
he did that before.
Yeah.
It was so annoying to him to be like, I'm the spy. Like,
But at least he didn't have the dark circles under his eyes like he did in The Last Jedi.
I get the line where he says, "I don't care who wins, but Kylo Ren needs to lose." I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not being positive here.
Also, we have the Rey jumping through space, where she jumps out of the Imperial ship into the Millennium Falcon through space. Kent, space, and nothing bad happens.
J.J.
to her.
Abrams was scrambling to find a movie here. This whole movie feels like a reshoot.
The entire
does.
movie. And it definitely is.
Yeah.
But you have
reshoot of the
You have to
Skywalker.
say, hey, let's completely undo The Last Jedi and let's try and create somehow a new movie. Let's link it to The Force Awakens as much as we can. And so what you end up with is 2 bad movies.
And then
shoved into one package.
Let's put horses on a spaceship too.
Yeah, they can't take out the speeders because they're horses. Also, I
have all the horses.
looks like you're on the wrong side of the river. I mentioned earlier that I thought that the coloring was great in all these movies. I retract that statement for this movie. While it is colorful, it looks like JJ took the saturation and accidentally flipped it all the way up.
Yeah.
I actually really don't like how
It's too colorful?
this movie is. It looks very artificial. Carrie Russell's face isn't seen enough.
Speaking artificial, the relationship between Kylo and Rey, when they kissed at the end, I was like, that felt completely unearned to me. Unearned.
Well, he had a scramble. It was for the fans.
I guess
It was for the
kind of
fans.
annoying. And I want to.
This whole movie was for the fans.
Raylo.
I want to point out that I Am All the Sith and I Am All the Jedi came 8 months after I Am Inevitable and I Am Iron Man. It was almost the exact same delivery.
But like 30 years after I Am
guys.
Woman, Hear Me Roar.
Imagine.
Yes.
Imagine behind each of them, you literally see Force ghosts of all the Sith. And Force ghosts, like an army, like in the dead
Like
army.
Nick Cage's Superman kind of behind her.
No, like Deathly Hallows Part 2.
But you saw all these Jedi. You saw Samuel L. Jackson, Ewan McGregor, all these Anakin. You saw all the Jedi behind Rey.
That
Instead of just hearing the voices.
budget a bit.
Yeah,
They
had the budget.
They did the voices.
The voices, but that's it.
pretty cool.
I
Imagine
didn't recognize
seeing the
those.
Force ghosts in this battle.
I think it would have been too much fan service.
And then-
I'll take it.
And then the ending. And then the ending when the random lady says, "Who are you, Rey? What's your last name?" And I'm like, no one asked that. And then she looks at the camera, and everyone in the audience, I've heard the recordings of people being like, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it." Rey Skywalker.
It's surname appropriation. It is crate salt in the wound.
It's so bad.
She should have just said just Ray.
Because truly, the celebration scenes before that, you're like, yay, everyone's safe. This is fine.
Zack should be a screenwriter.
Yeah,
All she was
just Ray.
she accepting who she is.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't have a last name. It's just Ray.
Yeah.
'Cause I am who I am.
Yep. That would have been better. That would have been better.
Zach, can we talk about just the facts, please?
We're back to happy now.
We have rant breakover.
Just numbers.
Okay.
Let's talk some numbers.
Okay. We're going to talk about the reception of the sequel trilogy. The Force Awakens, by the way, it broke opening weekend box office records in North America with $248 million and totals of $529 million worldwide, the largest opening ever for The Force Awakens, because everyone was excited to see it. The Force Awakens is currently the highest grossing film of all time in North America and the fourth highest grossing film worldwide, unadjusted for inflation.
To go over the numbers, these are the numbers Disney wanted. I don't think they want to see declining numbers.
No.
But they've all made over $1 billion. So, like you said,
But they
Force
also had
Awakens.
budgets of about $500 million.
Sure, but Force Awakens made over $2 billion. Last Jedi made 1.32 billion, and The Rise of Skywalker was 1.07 billion. So all more successful than any other Star Wars movie to come out,
Yeah.
except for like adjusted for inflation. Yes.
Also, talking critically, there's something fascinating that happens here because on IMDb, The Force Awakens get the highest score at 7.7. Last Jedi comes in next with 6.8, and then Rise of Skywalker with 6.3. But and I know we don't use Rotten Tomatoes a lot here, Kent.
Yeah, but it's an indicator of the time, how critics were feeling about it.
But it's a fascinating story to look at because The Force Awakens got a 93% by critics and an 84% by Rotten Tomatoes. So both scored very high. The Last Jedi got a 91% from critics, but a 41% from audiences. And then The Rise of Skywalker got a 51% from critics, but an 86% from audiences. So it flip-flopped.
Yeah.
So like critics loved Last Jedi and hated Rise of Skywalker, and the audiences were the complete opposite.
I still think that's the case. I think I know many critics that love The Last Jedi and wish it would have stayed with the subversion.
Yes. But I just find it fascinating that like this is this is what divided Star Wars fans. Mm-hmm. This is when it wasn't just like, I'm a fan of Star Wars, and people were like, yeah, but which Star Wars?
Yeah.
And that became the thing.
From Civil War.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I hate that that's what it became, but that's the truth. This sequel trilogy fractured Star Wars fandom.
It's too bad because I think Star Wars fans were already humbled by the prequels. And yeah, obviously they recovered. But I think it humbled them again to the point where, like you said, what was a Star Wars fan at that point?
Yeah.
Which direction?
Exactly. And now we have our favorite moment of the whole episode.
Wait, are we doing top 5 scenes?
We're doing our top 5 scenes.
Okay. Should we get through these pretty quick? Because we talked about the movies already.
We have, and I've mentioned some of these before. So,
Joel, you're the most excited about this.
Yes, I am.
Would you share your 5?
Number 5, I did put the ending to the trilogy on Tatooine when Rey goes to bury Luke and Leia's lightsabers on Tatooine and then cutting to black before she says anything. That's my favorite scene. Right
They fly now.
It's my favorite. Kent, number 5?
Yeah, the death of Snoke, because it was surprising.
Yeah.
And then Rey's option to stay with Kylo. Like the whole battle, like the tug of war they had with the lightsaber. It's a pretty great scene.
Yeah.
I know it's oft maligned, but I thought that the visuals and especially the sound design or lack thereof of the Holdo maneuver was
When
pretty.
she
Was pretty
flies the ship through the other ship.
and it's just quiet for a minute. I don't know if you guys recall back in the day when this movie came out, some movie theaters had to have signs saying, "Hey, there's a part of this movie that doesn't have any sound. It's not broken."
Yeah.
I thought that design was cool.
Coming in at number 4, I have the moment when the cavalry comes in at the end of Rise of Skywalker, when everyone comes together to fight against the Resistance. But it felt like a ripoff of Serenity. And where were they?
They fly now.
Okay. But seeing all the ships come together, I do like everyone coming together to fight against.
Because it's that victory moment.
Yes.
My number 4 is Kylo Ren stopping a laser blast in midair. And in the same scene, Finn growing a conscience. I thought the way that started the series, I was like...
A conscious Anna Wilson handprint.
Yeah, true story. But I was like, hey, this is different.
I will just piggyback off of that. I wrote, Kylo holds the bolt.
Yep.
I thought that when I mentioned it earlier, I thought it was a fantastic introduction to this more realistic feeling and lived in version of Star Wars. But then seeing what had to have been a ton of raw power to be able to do what Kylo Ren did was fascinating and made him a very intimidating character.
Yes.
Love that.
Joel, your number 3?
My number 3 is the first lightsaber battle between Finn, Kylo, and Rey, even though it makes no sense, in the snowy forest in The Force Awakens.
My number 3 is
beautiful and colorful.
Kylo Ren's holding out for a hero moment on Exegol. And as he's like wearing normal clothes and he's going to join Rey and he fights the Knights of Ren. And then literally when he just reaches behind his back, boom, lightsaber. It's awesome.
I love the edit with holding out for a hero so much.
It's so good.
I will say I loved seeing the Battle of Crate. I thought that the way that they...
Remind me?
That is the end of The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Where they had like the land ships that
little
were like
skimmers.
trailing. Yeah, the skimmers.
The red and white
just
snow.
what it did with that top
Ice.
layer of
No.
salt being white and then the red underneath created such visual interest.
Salt, everybody. It's salt.
Not ice, everyone.
It's not ice like on Hoth.
They fly now.
Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, is one of the guys in that scene.
Yeah.
I just thought the visuals were something that I had never seen before, and I was wowed by it even in watching it this weekend.
Coming in at my number 2, top 5 scenes, Luke standing solo against the AT-ATs was a really cool moment where he's standing there and then dust off his shoulder. Would have been cooler if he'd actually been there, but yes.
Hey.
For me, my number 2 is anything with the Millennium Falcon. So the chase at the beginning of The Force Awakens is like great fan service. And it's cool that it's like on planet side. And also,
I like that the Millennium Falcon had that red arm on it.
but then Han and Chewie boarding.
It was the square satellite.
And then also Luke and R2-D2 boarding. Like, I think just everyone kind of like being on a set that they've been before is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
I will say anytime Poe is flying an aircraft or a spacecraft, I think that Poe is an amazing pilot, and the way that it doesn't make any sense, but he drifts when he flies, the way he spins the ships around. And, I just loved all of the scenes of him flying.
So we have not had a lot of crossover, which is surprising to me.
Because there's so many great scenes.
But I'm wondering if we're all going to have the same number one.
No, mine's, you've already used mine.
Okay. My number one is Kylo and Rey's fight with the elite Praetorian Guard in Snoke's chambers. Visually, colorful, fun, appealing.
I don't care what you guys have to say. I hate that fight.
Yes, so do I.
It's okay.
Mine is
visually.
They fly now.
I'll be the fly now. Visually, very interesting.
For me, it's you've mentioned this one, the duel at the Starkiller base with Finn, Rey, and Kylo, because it gives Finn a lot to do, and they're not good warriors. And visually, it's like exciting to watch.
And it gave me a lot of hope because it's like, hey, anyone can use a lightsaber.
But that could have been the point of the series.
Anyone.
Zack, they fly out.
They fly now.
Did you guys see Dunkirk?
Yeah.
There at the end of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's just the ending of Dunkirk. I could have picked that, but no, I'm just going to
Your favorite moment of Star Wars is the ending of Dunkirk.
Wanted to find a way to make fun of it. No, I think that my favorite is Rey flying the Millennium Falcon for the first time through Jakku. I think that scene has
so good at
it has so much energy, but she's not.
She does. It clunks around.
It clunks around a lot.
Which I was actually worried she was going to break it.
She kind of did.
Yeah.
And then, the gun breaks, and then the way that she have to like flip it forward for it to shoot. I think that just getting through and kind of bumper carring it a little bit around is awesome. Also, I liked when the TIE fighter went, ah! That was really cool. That never stops being cool.
It's like it had dairy.
I love TIE fighter sounds so much. Actually, I'll be honest. I love the sound design of Star Wars. It's my favorite thing ever.
Zack, can we please have one more opportunity to be negative?
I'll allow it.
A short break.
Yes.
A short one. A short final rant.
Because we've already talked about each of the movies.
Yes.
Go.
Okay, I just think it's ridiculous how disjointed these movies are. Rey's parents aren't important. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not.
They're not, but the grandpa is.
Yeah, Finn has something to say. No, he doesn't. Never mind. Finn is force sensitive. No, he doesn't. Never mind. Poe is there. Okay.
But he's so handsome.
The sequel trilogy made everyone who was harsh to the prequels think, you know what? You're not as ugly as I once considered you to be. It made those flawed movies feel interesting, fun, and sincere. That's how bad these movies are.
Of course, it's been made a meme. It's all over the internet. But Rey saying that horrible things have happened with this dagger, as she is the wielder of the Kidslayer 5000, is one of the dumbest things that has ever been considered in movies.
It's right up there. It's right up there with the things like somehow Palpatine returned and the Rey Skywalker thing, where those have become jokes because everyone goes, that's not right.
When you have all of these moments that you try to make so self-important that you don't consider anything else, it's just stacking on top of each other.
That's what I was saying. Rise of Skywalker. Every line feels like they wrote it and like looking at the audience like, you're liking this, aren't you?
This entire movie is basically a big Reddit thread of I'm 14 and this feels deep.
Yep.
Yes.
And let's be honest. Hey, let's fix a movie by bringing in the guy who wrote Batman versus Superman.
Really? I'm actually a fan. He also wrote Argo, so I mean Oscar winner. So yeah, listen. Fine. It was an uphill battle.
This is not an Oscar winner. But here's the thing:
Star Wars was the cinematic franchise. Once The Last Jedi was released, people caught on. Solo then lost money, made under $400 million.
Solo got the unfortunate blowback from The Last Jedi.
And The Rise of Skywalker was desperate to end the series in any way possible, and it did in any way possible.
It's been. I think it ended it in every way.
It's been 7 years since the last movie, and yes, we are going to get Mandalorian Grogu, but that 7 years is the same amount of time.
We're also allegedly getting a new trilogy with Rey.
I don't believe it. 7 years was the same amount of time that Revenge of the Sith and the announcement of the purchase of Star Wars came, and that was like an eternity back in the day. And we're looking now at a TV franchise. That's it.
And to be reduced to that is a shame.
What did you do, sequel series? What did you do? All right. Is it time for our closing statements?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Joel, do you have a closing statement?
I do. Can I get some music behind this one, Kent?
And no.
When the sequel series began, I had a new hope that these movies would cause the Force to awaken again. But then, as I watched The Empire Strike Back as the rehashed First Order, and the petty revenge of a Sith named Kylo Ren, and the attack of the ridiculous Palpatine clones, a phantom, menacing feeling grew inside me. This Rise of a Skywalker character is half-baked, and the return of our favorite Jedi is completely anticlimactic. And I'm not surprised that this is the last Jedi movie many people watched. However,
Okay, that was close.
something strange happened to me while rewatching this sequel trilogy, gentlemen. The hate no longer flows through me. It's mostly been replaced with apathy. Amen.
Oh, apathy. The worst thing that you can feel about a movie.
Hey, fly. Zach, do you have a closing statement?
What I did with this trilogy viewing experience was experience it how it should be, through the eyes of an 11-year-old boy. I watched this with my stepson.
Oh, okay.
And what he had to say was ever so helpful to me. And I quote, "I liked the graphics and the characters are cool."
Yeah.
And that to me sums up all that Star Wars needs to be for a majority of people. This is a franchise in which we all know the names of characters that are never said in films. Never once is the word Ewok ever uttered. Never once do they define that the bird is called a porg, but they're all things that we know, because this is about selling toys and selling printed underwear to potty training young boys. That's what Star Wars has always been. You are lying to yourself if you think otherwise. So the fact that this is fun for a generation of children who don't know any better is perfectly acceptable for me. And so if you have fun watching this movie, that's all it was ever intended to do.
I love that.
Kent?
Ladies and gentlemen of the listener, I come to you as a humble defender just trying to find the value in this corrupted gem. I see no reason to hide the flaws present, but consider the prequel series. Surely those flaws have become accepted and even loved over time. Surely we're 5 years and a few worse movies from now till we can give the sequels some of that residual adoration. A wise man once said, "Only a Sith deals in absolutes." So, are we on the right if we simply say, it's good or it's bad? I say the truth is somewhere in the will of the Force, otherwise known as the balance.
Well, there you go. Gentlemen, we have defended The Last Jedi.
Just The Last Jedi?
No, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, we have.
And we want to know if we helped you feel more positive feelings, or maybe it's just some apathy towards the series.
No, they fly now. Do you feel that you'll ever watch these movies again?
Probably not.
To be honest, spending time with my youngest daughter, and I said, hey, we watched all 6 Star Wars movies, and I need to watch 7 through 9, and I haven't made you watch them. Is that something you'd be willing to do with me? And she says, I don't know, Dad. I'm going to leave that up to you. I watched these by myself. I don't think I'll ever watch these again.
Really?
Unless she really asks.
I watched them with my 11-year-old stepson, but you know who ended up in the room halfway through Force Awakens?
Your wife?
My 7-year-old stepdaughter.
Oh.
And then she, mostly because she wanted to stay up late, she watched the rest of Force Awakens, and she was pretty locked in for the remainder of the 2 movies. She watched the entire thing with us. And you know what she thought? Wow, Rey is pretty cool. Is this movie over yet?
Yep.
And we have not given any love to John Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously
score the movies.
familiar scores we know, but they're all brilliant scores.
Oh, I think that the Resistance theme, the very Russian Resistance theme, was great.
Yes.
Kylo Ren's theme is great. Rey's theme that he got from Harry Potter was great.
Yeah. But still, greatness.
Oh, yeah, the music is
From
fantastic.
one of the best.
But what we want to know is if we have softened your feelings, if we have done our duty and defended the sequel series in a way that makes you feel a little better about them. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on X. Let us know on Instagram, because we want to hear your take on this May the 4th. But before we go, we'd like to give some love to our patrons. Those who keep the Wayfinders wayfinding here in the Bacon Cave.
It's got a little red dot on the inside.
Including the I'm a Listener tier, which has in it Scott Sprague, Lady Terry Finley, Ryan and Marley, Adam Rachel Crump, Rocky and Steph, Saint Shannon and Sir James West, Taylor Sanderson, Jennifer Kilkowski, Andrew Sanders, Juice the Cooler King Swallow, Casey Cummings, Mrs. Robinson, and Megan McFarland. And then we have our Baking Council, which has in it Nicole D. Kale, the one, the only Chris Anderson, Stephen, everyone's favorite Ross, her Royal Highness Jessica Terry, Star Wars expert Kyler, The other Brit, Johnny English, our spooky couple, the Madsons, Glow Clint Daniel, Debbie Foster, and Beaker.
Thank you, patrons.
Thank you, patrons. You are the Babu to our Frick.
Always funny.
Babo freak.
But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on X, or you can find me on QuickWits. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the QuickWits Facebook page.
You can find me on X at Kenny3DD. You can find me on Instagram at KenCDunn. You can read my movie reviews at ShowtimeShowdown.com.
If you'd like to connect with me, you can do so on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Zachary Western. But more importantly, make sure you're following Baconsale. Please like that Facebook page and then go to at Baconsale on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. After you've done that, go to tpublic.com/Baconsale and get yourself some merch. And then if you like what's going on here and you want to support us further, visit patreon.com/Baconsale. Support starts at just $3 a month and you can get access to all sorts of behind the scenes fun, including those almost weekly Bacon Bits where we kind of just go on about pasta and we kind of get ranty about video games.
That too.
Superheroes and sports.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/Baconsale.
So until next time, that's how we win, guys. Not by discussing what we love, but defending what we hate.
What's the sound of milking a space cow's teat?
Joel has this thing called integrity. It drives me crazy.
They fly now.
They fly now?
They fly now.
If you rearrange the letters of Bob Iger, it spells Kermit the Frog.
Well, if it's popular, I'm not gonna like it.
How can I say this without getting they flied now? You're basically Saul Goodman right now.
Thank you.
If I may say something positive about The Force Awakens.
That's the whole point of this show.
We're on the same side.
They fly now? What? Or family friendly. I don't know what to say there.
I really like the part where Kylo Ren lightsaber go. Oh, the humanity. No, I only want fruit for the rest of my life. He's ripped. He can take his shirt off anytime.
He's wearing some high pants.
Do you want to see Kylo crack?
She flies now.
Luke, you try to kill your nephew in his sleep.
Burn it down. Babu Frick is a funny name.
Fortnite.
Ew.
I'm the architect of your pain.
I am the spy. Oh, this lion has a thorn in its paw.
Chewbacca?
He was dead for a hot 2 seconds.
C-3PO?
Dead for a hot 2 seconds.
It's surname appropriation. You're not as ugly as I once considered you to be.
Hot for a dead 2 seconds.